Hello and welcome to another edition of the program Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio. My name is Mute Olori. Today we're going to be focusing on nation building. The role of citizens, especially women. Nation building is broadly seen as constructing or structuring a national identity using the power of the states. It often aims at the unification of the people within a nation so that it remains politically stable and economically viable in the long run. So nation building has a way of promoting good governance. It does not necessarily require an external involvement, but it does require the contribution of all sectors of a nation. Although every sector or group of a nation has a role to play, but in many cases, this is not so, as only a few sectors have dominated mainstream development, ignoring significant contributions to nation building from other important sectors of the nation, especially the most vulnerable, that is women, youths, and people living with disability or albinism. This is common in most developing countries, especially in Africa. And notable among such groups are the women whose role in nation building has not been fully harnessed. The traditional role of women since time immemorial has always been childbearing and homekeeping, and all that. They have been excluded from governance and national building activities. Women are even regarded as second class in some societies. Most nations have not been able to benefit from this significant group of people called women. But despite the limited opportunities given to women, there has been occasions where women rose to the challenges facing their nation. For example, in my own country, Nigeria, women like Olufunmilayo Ransome-Kuti, Joe Odumaike, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, amongst others, have been outstanding in their contributions to nation building. And to date, women are still breaking grounds, shattering ceilings, while contributing immensely to nation building to promote political awareness, inclusion, and economic empowerment for better governance. Today on the show, we will be looking at the role of citizens, women especially, in building nations to promote good governance. And to discuss this topic with me, I have with me the Executive Director, Association of Women in Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. She's also the Director General, Global Center for Human Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development. She voluntarily retired from civil service and chose to pursue her passion to promote competitiveness among micro, small, and medium enterprise operators across economic sectors to support sustainable national economic development and citizens' inclusive participation in service delivery. And this is to engender good governance and practices. My guest is no other than Mrs. Rose Giam. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Good
Quite
day.
a lot you have been doing. But still, it's like a drop in the ocean. In your words, what actually is nation building? Is it what we're doing now, or there's much more to building a nation than what we have right now?
Yeah, thank you for this question. Nation building, to my mind, is a cohesive engagement of all citizens, leveraging on industrial, economic, and citizens' participation to be able to bring up institutions, systems, and processes that can enhance citizens' livelihood. The key word here I would want to emphasize is inclusive citizens' engagement. Because if we're talking about nation building and it's left to a particular sector of the citizenry, then I wouldn't think that is enough to be nation building. Now, when we talk about nation building as a process, it means that there will be need for structuring. It means that there will be need for institutionalization. There will be need of systemic engagement. And there has to be procedures and process that can lead to nation building. And now our focus is about women. We all are aware that Nigerian women are doing quite a lot to support, whether from the home front or the government side, both in public and private sectors. But yet, like you said, it's like a drop in the ocean. Because I must be fair here that the Nigerian institutions have broken down. And so it will be difficult to identify what the woman is doing. We have shifted from institutionalized systems to individualistic systems.
Exactly.
And of course, if the systems are now individualized, and then you're talking of the woman that has to contend with gender issues, she cannot be anywhere found. She will struggle, but her struggles may not be acknowledged. Because first and foremost, she's looked at as a homekeeper, not a nation builder. And because she's a homekeeper, that is the space within which she's always looked out from.
And if she performs better there, that's her credibility.
Yes. But today, you will agree with me that the Nigerian women have broken the ceiling. You made mention of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who just recently became a world name. Well, added as a world name. I understand quite recently too, there's a Nigerian woman that was also given management appointment. Is it in the World Bank or in the UN?
Yes, that's whatever. Our former Director General of SEC in Nigeria.
Fine. Now, we also know of our own Hajia, the former Honorable Minister of Environment in Nigeria, that the UN picked, which means we still have a lot more potentials of women that have not been explored. And this, for me, have become our gatekeepers. They have become our door openers. And I'm sure Nigerian women will continue to gain this accolade by getting honor. Maybe in our own case, it's the biblical injunction that prophets are not honored in their own homes. I think that's what's happening to Nigerian women. But for nation building, I can assure you that Nigerian women are contributing immensely. If you look around the economic space, women start their enterprises from the kitchen, their respective kitchens, and it blossoms and becomes an enterprise. What do? They pick one or two people that help them in doing this work. It's nation building. The nation is crying about lack of employment. And yet, we do this remotely without even we acknowledging or knowing that we are actually supporting. And so, for the Nigerian woman to be acknowledged as a nation builder, we need to speak more of what we do. Let people get to know that, yes, in our own small closets, even within our homes, we create jobs for our children. Within our homes, we create enterprises that blossoms to become commercialized entities, ventures, that supports government in revenue generation, because if she registers her business, she registers with government, and she pays. If she pays taxes, she pays to government. And so we are part of the national purse. If she creates job, She is doing a public job, the service of government. They are expected to create jobs for the citizens. And she helps them in doing that. She publicizes what government does, which is part of what we are doing now.
Exactly.
And so what else? What other contribution are you expecting of her when she brings forth even the citizens that you use as society citizens?
That's a huge one.
Exactly.
I mean, even the president is.
I wonder.
It's a woman's contribution.
It's a woman's contribution.
To the country.
Yes, that is our primary factory.
Yes, now for nation building. Also, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think that's what we're all contributing. But somebody listening to you said, "Okay, fine, little contribution, like you said, a drop here, a drop here, a drop here." But how does this help in promoting good governance?
Like I said, nation building is a cohesive process. So everything is brought in together. Now, in promoting good governance, like in your introduction, I work on citizens' participation and inclusive participation in service delivery processes in order to support good governance. The citizens I work with include women. Women pass information. They are educators. They are homemakers. They are teachers.
Nurturers.
They are nurturers. They are also leaders within communities. So their contribution is huge because they pass information and they write information at that. They sensitize people about government programs. They sensitize and teach their children morals. And there is no sane society without morally upright citizens. These are all the jobs that women do. Now, if you culminate all of this and add it up to her entrepreneurial personality, she's contributing immensely to nation building. She's contributing to good governance because it is good citizens that make good governance. It is good citizens that transform the process of good governance or that contributes to the process of good governance. And when we are talking about good governance is what? Equitable distribution of resources, equitable distribution of opportunities, and inclusive participation of every citizen, regardless of religion, regardless of gender, regardless of regional affiliation, and all that.
So would you say that, because like your definition say equity.
Yes.
Would you say that that lack of equity, whereby women have been relegated or disregarded, would you say it is part of why we're seeing some level of bad governance and vices in our society today?
Yes, I will boldly say that. Because, you know, as a woman, what comes to her mind first is her children. Whatever a woman does, the first thing that comes to her mind is how does that influence her family? How does that impact in her family? How does that affect her family? And so when you are talking about good governance, you are talking about that process that is, would I say, that is sanctified, where there are equal opportunities, where there are equitable distribution of resources, positions, and also where you can have citizens express themselves
without fear,
freely, without fear, to contribute to their nation building. Where you see citizens owning the process of nationhood. That is what good governance is all about. Because a government or a situation where citizens cannot own the process of governance, then something is wrong. It means their basic civic responsibility is not being performed.
And especially in Nigeria, where women form economically, the women economic of the nation is about 70% women.
Yes.
So if we are not given the right position or given the right recognition, then we can't grow and expand from where we are.
Exactly. It's because women have not been given the right of place in the economic development, that the economy of the country is mostly informal. Mostly informal.
That's it, yes, yes.
Mostly informal because women participate within that informal sector. Majority of the women perform within that informal sector. And if you want to see a formalized economy, then you formalize the process of the women's businesses. You structure the business, the process of women's businesses, and then you encourage women to be competitive in their businesses. Then you can see a formalized business.
I think that's where your organization comes in.
Yes.
We'll take a short break. When I come back, we'll be talking about what your organization is doing with government to see how we can formalize the informal sector so that women can benefit more in nation building by contributing their quota. I'll take a short break. My guest, Rose Gia, we've been talking about women's contribution to nation building, especially as citizens of a country where we believe that 70% of the informal sector are organized and held on by women. But what can we do to raise the bar and put women in a sector where their contribution will be more recognized and meaningful? Please don't go away. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. My guest is still Total Woman on 84 TV Radio, and my guest is the DG of the Global Center for Human Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development. And we're looking at what her organization is doing, to help the number of women who are in the informal sector to be formalized so that their contribution to nation building will be more recognized. And that is raising the bar for us. So your organizations like yours, I know you're also involved in the medium and small scale enterprise. What are you doing to see that this informal sector is formalized? Okay.
You know that one of the basic problems we have within the informal sector is lack of data. Lack of data. Now, for us to actually have a credible data, you must identify who is where, operating what, or doing what. And so, we have decided as an organization to profile MSME operators, first by their organizations. You know, the way the businesses are small, so do we have the proliferation of small organizations around the MSME sector. And so what we have decided to do is to profile the organizations, regardless of gender, operations, and sector. Okay. Now, having done that, we are beginning to disaggregate, having the gender separate, gender-focused organizations separate, and then the operations also by gender. And that was what led us to facilitating the establishment of Association of Women in Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises. Okay. And this we did in collaboration with government agencies, because basically, GLOCHIT promotes competitiveness among the micro, small, and medium enterprises. And so, when the Globe is talking gender, we keyed into gender, and decided to start an engagement with women operators within the SME space in 2016. So we had an annual gathering where we have women exhibit their products. We have all the regulatory agencies at the federal level come to see these products in order to identify what the challenges are with the products. Okay. And what we have succeeded in doing is to see how we use such platform to advocate for soft landing, so to say, for the women in line with competitive practices. And I'm happy to tell you that with the Standards Organization of Nigeria, they have accepted to leverage on group process because of the associations and small groupings of the women to accredit and their products and standardize their process. So that as a group, if it was the funding that was the problem, now you can share your funding. If, for instance, you need 10,000 naira to acquire a standard and you are 10 in your group, it means you can share that 10,000 naira
within
into
your group
10.
and have a group standardization.
And they have a group standardization. This opens up the market for you because you can safely send your products to the shops and they will accept to sell on the shelf, rather than you carrying it on your handbag or in your boot of cars or putting it in front of your house. Even in front of your house, you are afraid which NAFDAC officer or which standard organization officer will be passing through. So that, I think, we have achieved, and we are grateful to Standards Organization of Nigeria for hand-holding us in that direction and listening to our advocacy. Then you might ask, because NAFDAC is usually the hammer that we run away from.
And a lot of women say that is one hurdle that they find it difficult. And each point you want to cross, you pay. Each point you want to cross, there's lots of money expended. Yes.
Now, we have been able to see that, to advocate, and along with the other regulatory agencies to NAFDAC, and they've accepted a shared facility model. And so women don't have to go and build a factory to get their products processed. They can leverage on already accredited facilities doing the same thing that they are doing, and they get their products produced. That, to me, is a very huge, breakthrough within the SME sector. Because if you're operating within the SME sector, you can never have enough money to do your business.
Exactly.
You can never have enough
money
to
do your business. It's another...
Because you are either being affected by COVID-19, or you are affected by government policies, epileptic policy, epileptic policy, rather, or you are affected by poor market access, or even lack of competitiveness. And so, with this great leap that you can use leverage on shared facility to be able to produce your product, get it certified and accredited by NAFDAC, I think it's a leapfrog.
Okay, for what you've mentioned, that it's a huge opening.
Yes, it's a huge opening for women. Yes.
How many women are aware of what is going on, and how many have opportunity to access these openings that are made available by your collaboration and advocacy?
Okay. Now, you see, we have 41 million MSMEs as of 2019, July, reported by Bureau of Statistics and SMEDAN. That is the ones that are on paper anyway, because I know they are more than that. But because somehow, somehow I think I wasn't captured because I didn't sign the survey form. So as an SME, if I am not there, it means probably other people are not there. Yes, but well, because it's a survey, we'll accept it. That it becomes a benchmark for work. It's work in progress, so we'll accept that as a benchmark. Now, what we have done is, now that we have a sector-specific association for women MSMEs, we have WhatsApp platforms. We meet and we interact with ourselves and have started promoting this. But you know that it's not enough. That you keep telling people, okay, this is available, this is available. They want you to demonstrate it. Incidentally, just yesterday or day before yesterday, we had a meeting in the association and have identified partners that already have accredited facilities. For those that are doing rice processing, for those that are into oil extraction, for those that want to do pure water, for those that want to do, you know, the oil extraction cuts across all grains. At least we are starting with these ones. Water, oil extraction, rice processing, and you know, the other like bakeries and confectionaries.
Okay.
So we want to start with this and be able to see those that can leverage on this partnership and produce their products, access their SON and NAFDAC. Then we can now blast out to say, come, we have tried this partnership or this advocacy we have done. We have gotten it on paper. Now it is practical. So come and key in. You know, we behave like our children. If we don't see, we are always like doubting Thomases.
Yes, yes.
If we don't see it work, we will not believe it.
Yeah, because a lot
so
of
this is what we are now trying to. Yes,
people have tried and beaten so many times, and it doesn't work.
Yes,
so they're skeptical.
So now we want to do it ourselves. We want to own the process as a whimsman to do it, and then now show them that okay, we have done it ourselves. You can also come and do it, and then you will see it. All right. But funny enough, remotely, some people have already started keying into it. Like I know, the first time I ever saw date, the flour, is it flour now, we'll call it? Or
dates, yes.
Yes, you know that it now has a powdered date that you can use like sugar. I saw it from some young entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs that came for an exhibition. And I was curious. I took it and I saw the labeling on the package. Date powder. I said, okay, let me try this. And I did. And it was fantastic. If you use it as a sweetener, it's sweeter than sugar. It's sweeter than, yes, natural, because it's natural. There's no adhesive, nothing in it. So when I read through their labeling, I discovered that they are the ones that market it, but it is a shared facility they use to produce it. Spectra. Spectra Limited, I know, produces cocoa powder. Now they leverage on that facility to be able to create date powder. So you see, they didn't need to go and get 1 3-bedroom somewhere that light will not be there, water will not be there, and all that. With all the frustration, she gets back home, she is tired, she's frustrated, and then she met that up on the children. Now she can simply just give her order to Spectra, and he produces her date for her. She packages in her company name or in her patent name or trademark name, and it's off in the market.
So something is making things easy. She's coming back home and she's raising future leaders of tomorrow.
Exactly.
Who are stable and in the process creating an environment for national growth and development.
Exactly.
Amazing. Awesome. So let's now look at access to markets, because it's one thing to have these opportunities created and the produce are ready. What is your organization doing to see that women also have opportunity for exports or for the sales of this produce?
Okay. Like I said, it's a huge opportunity that we're leveraging on this group process certification, because it means you can now produce competitively. It means you can now produce en masse, that you can have sustainable supply to whoever your client is within and outside the country. And thanks to government, they have given platforms that you can leverage on. Quite recently, a 50 billion naira export promotion grant or so was made available for exporters or intending exporters. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement has also taken off.
Yes.
And then we also have the AGOA that has been on. So these are all platforms that we are engaging with to ensure that our women have sustainable markets for their products, both within and outside.
By
the country.
2023, what hope do you think that women would have in governance?
Wow, that's a big one. In 2023, I am looking towards 40-60.
That is a huge dream.
Yes,
Wow.
it is, because we have platforms all over the country, mobilizing women, sensitizing them, educating them, and incidentally, the platform with me and you belong,
The League of
Women
Voters,
Voters.
Yes.
What are we doing with it? That is the purpose. And so we will leverage on all that. And maybe to just steal your time, I'm also looking towards 2023 anyway.
Wow. Okay, so the train is set to move. What
Yes.
are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Is it that you join or you're left behind?
Exactly.
And the hope is that women will actively be involved with everything that is being created, with the opportunities that are being created, and the awareness that is there. We're hopeful that in 2023,
more women will join
more
governance.
women will be there. Thank you so much for being my guest, and thank you so much for doing such a huge work to see that women network and come into cooperatives.
Yes.
That will give them greater strength and greater voice to speak. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we need that, because we already also have a platform, Federation of Women Associations in Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. And in fact, we will soon come out with a bang, because just yesterday we had a courtesy visit to the Honorable Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, and she really gave us hope. And very soon, watch out for us.
And watch out. Stay tuned on AD4 TV Radio, Total Woman, to always bring you the latest on anything that has to do with women and nation building. Thank you very much for doing this with me today. My name is Mute Olori. I'll be with you again next week. Bye-bye.